Mhm.
Hello everyone, it's Andy Glenn from Solway TV, and I've got a very special guest today joining us on Zoom. It's only one of the owners, it's only Gary McCracken. Gary, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Andy. I'm doing good. Down here in the basement, trying to keep cool.
Well, the weather's been tropical. Another fine day in Gotham City, as they used to say in a TV program back in the day.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I can't believe that it was the Solway coast that recorded Scotland's highest June temperature at 31.2 degrees. And that still was not the hottest news in Dumfries this week.
It is not the hottest news in Dumfries this week because as we record that, we're just a week over you getting the news from the league that Solway was back in the league. Tell me about last week and how that must have felt.
It was absolutely amazing. And the you, when you're talking about the you, you're talking about us. There was four of us in the core that were involved, but there was so many people around about us helping as well, and we couldn't have done it without all of them. But um, getting that news was massive. For the last sort of like couple of months, I've been around about Dumfries. I'm a local guy. Kids have been coming up to me in the street asking me what's happening with the ice hockey, what's happening next season, etc. I felt a lot of pressure going into the owners meeting at the league and presenting to them last week. I wrote it with Jamie Crosby, one of the other owners. The presentation, we practiced it together twice, and I went out there and I did the best I could do, and we got the decision that we wanted. So it was a massive relief for me. I felt a good few stone lighter with that weight off my shoulders.
It must have been a difficult time because you've been a fan of the club for forever, and like other fans through the summer, there was a lot of bad news, a lot of worrying news, and you guys were working behind the scenes and you couldn't really share any of that. And the fans were desperate for some sort of news, weren't they?
The fans were desperate. Those fans are my friends. We're fans as well. We sit with them, we joke with them, we drink with them, and more so than that, my own dad, his granddad Graham. He's sits in the same seat, has done for I don't know, probably well over a decade. It's part of his whole life, and I couldn't even tell him what was going on. I was giving him enough snippets to just keep him reasonably happy, but it was so hard. Not even I wasn't sharing it with nobody. We had to keep it tight. We had to do everything properly, and I was working away to the detriment, obviously, of the family and friends that they weren't seeing us. All of us were working so hard. And then this week I've been able to say this is what it's all about. This is what it's all for. Bringing National League hockey in Dumfries to keep it in Dumfries, and it's all been worth it. And I've just been apologising to people this week, Andy, for not being there as a family member or a friend for the last kind of month, 6 weeks.
It must have been incredibly difficult, and I don't think fans will appreciate that burden that came on because obviously a situation arose where the club was in danger. And you and three
Sure.
other guys in Santiago, Charlie, Jamie, and yourself stepped up to the plate as fans first and foremost. But then
Yeah.
the pressure that goes along because it all rests on your shoulders, and you're talking about that presentation. There must have been some pressure on that, Gary.
There was, and Andy, I'm the type of guy that likes to cross the T's and dot the I's. I like to know what I'm doing. I like to know that I've kind of got it in the bag beforehand, and I definitely did not have that in the bag. These were all people I didn't know. I didn't know their personalities. So I just had to go into it like it was a business meeting. Not like I didn't care because I did because I wanted to show that passion, but also I had to try and keep it professional which, as the people that know me, passion usually overtakes my professionalism.
Well, people will know you because you were title sponsor last season,
That's right. Yeah,
part owner this season, and you'll have some plans for the future for the club, won't you?
absolutely, absolutely. There's loads of good plans. Obviously, we're working on the core. We're making sure the heart's pumping and the lungs are providing the club with oxygen this year. And that the brain's working. But we really want the club to go onwards and upwards. Really build to be even more part of the local community. I've already spoken with like the guys in the leisure team at Dumfries and Galloway. Gone out of my brain what their actual title is now. Active Schools, sorry, we're going to work with them with a program. We're going to make sure that ice hockey is available for local people to Dumfries. And when we're saying local, given that our nearest rink to us is Glasgow, which is nigh on 100 miles away, local means Dumfries and Galloway, the Borders, Cumbria, all round about the Solway coast. So.
Absolutely.
And to bring that and make it available because without the opportunity, people can't succeed. And we've got success stories here. Our captain, Liam Stenton, for example, he's come right through the system here, and we want that for other kids as well. I pretty much know a kid in every part of the system here, and we want them to have a pathway from learn to play at 6 years old right the way through to National League standard hockey with the NIHL team.
Absolutely. And it's clear that you've put a lot into the club over the last, well, forever, but I'm really meaning over summer
Last few
and
years, yeah.
last season in particular. What do you need from fans and maybe people who are not fans watching this just now? How can they help their club and their community?
By supporting us, come along and enjoy the entertainment. My wife had never been to a hockey game. She came along with me and our daughter, Lily. She came along basically to make sure that I was keeping a good eye on Lily when we were at the hockey games, And she's a season ticket holder now as well. You get bitten by the bug. Come along, enjoy the entertainment. Come once a month, come once a year, come every single week, whatever suits you. But we need people to come and appreciate the high level of hockey that's right here on our doorstep in Dumfries. Andy, you've travelled there. You've got to travel 3 hours before you get to the next National League team, which is primarily British players, and it's a top level of hockey. So come and watch, get involved. We're always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for sponsorship. Get your companies involved, get your families involved.
Absolutely, and start to play yourself as well. You'll get coached by players that actually play in our team. These guys come over, and they'll talk to you and they will help you develop your skills, and that's what makes Dumfries one of the best places to learn to play hockey and one of the best facilities in the entire country.
Absolutely. And the Dumfries Ice Bowl and their staff are all fully behind that. The whole setup in conjunction with Dumfries and Galloway Council is just amazing. It's second to none. And to have that opportunity in this area is phenomenal. We all know, Andy, there's great opportunities if you're in the right place. If you're in the central belt for certain sports, if you're in Liverpool, Manchester, London, but to have the opportunity of hockey at that level, our coach is one of the best in the country. He's coached at GB level. Our players have played internationally. We've got international players in there, and they're right there with the kids. They're on the ice with them, telling them how to hold their stick, telling them how to hit the puck, giving them advice. It's a massive opportunity for people in the area.
It certainly is, and for companies, as you said, to get involved as well. They come along, there's corporate nights, there's all sorts of stuff that we can do. And it's a great night out. If you've never been, you've said it, you get bitten once, Gary, and that's you're hooked.
Absolutely. And it's a family night out as well. I've told people over and over again, I says I couldn't be away from my family every Saturday night for the 27 weeks of the season, which will be 30 weeks this year because we're going to make playoffs. But it's a family night out. My daughter comes. She's been coming since she was 2 years old. She's 5 in the summer. She loves it. We had one occasion where she had to choose go with mum to a wedding or come with dad to the hockey, and she's like, "That why would I go to a wedding when hockey's on?" It bites you. I brought my cousins along. She's involved in a local school. She's a head teacher of a couple of primary schools in Dumfries. She came along to watch, hooked. Next thing, her daughter's there. Next thing, her partner's there. Her mum wants to come along. It's perfect. Round us, we've got probably kids from Lily's age at 3, well, 4 now, but 3, 4-year-old, right up to there's a couple there. I've never asked their age, but I've talked to him. He worked in the oil and gas industry like I did, and I can guess his age. He's definitely late 70s, as a couple, him and his wife, if not early 80s, and they're all there together. So you've got everything from the young kids right up to those that are more experienced in years.
Well, let's talk about experience because up until summertime, you were a fan, very loud fan, but a fan nonetheless, right? And I believe um, Mrs. McCracken's basically told you to tone it down for this as an owner.
She has, she has. Mrs. McCracken is a school teacher at trade, and she really likes to put me in the naughty boys corner, which is brilliant because I do quite often need it, Like I said, my passion quite often overcomes my professionalism, and I am a passionate fan, and I was blessed with a loud voice, which I think I was blessed. Most of the people round about me think it was a curse. But yeah, she's told me that this season, as an owner, I have to be behaving myself there. So I'll probably be shouting at the other fans to do some extra shouting on my behalf. But whether it's going to happen or not, I don't know. You can't leave your personality at the door, right?
Have you been given the all clear to either shout at the officials or question the officials' calls, which is probably more politically correct, or have you got to be, golden behaviour?
Well, we tried it in December last year, and because I didn't achieve that in December, they pushed it into January as well, for my golden behaviour. I'm not even really questioning their calls all the time. I just want them to be the best that they can be. That's all I want those officials to do. And I do really hope as well. We never make it personal, and we never make it, anything that my little daughter sitting next to me shouldn't hear.
Yeah.
So I hope they see it as good fun and good banter. We're just passionate fans wanting every single call to go Solway's way, whether we deserve it to go our way or not, right?
But it's an incredibly difficult job. It's like I find it really easy to manage the entire team from my seat. I can tell Martin what to do, but I've not got the accountability. And it's dead easy with replays and other people round about you being able to manage the game in terms of calls and all the rest of it. But making those calls and those split decisions in those times, it's not an easy job.
Andy, I'll be honest with you, right? I've got glasses, you've got glasses, and I honestly sometimes I don't even know where the puck is. It's moving that fast. How those referees keep up with the game, they do a phenomenal job. Despite all my cheering at them and jeering at them, they do a phenomenal job. And the game would not be there without them. One of my former bosses from America is he actually was a linesman back in the day for the San Jose Sharks. In the NHL, and he also is a referee at junior level. And I talked to him, and quite often he watches your commentaries. He can hear me shouting at the refs, and he's like he's given me the refs perspective as well, an even higher level of hockey. National hockey in the UK is amazing, but national level hockey in the USA and Canada is just out of the planet, isn't it? It's another level altogether. So much faster. But yeah, I've got a referee there in my ear, giving me the ref's perspective as well. So
Well, wow. I mean, it's as I said earlier, it's been a worrying summer for Solway fans. We need all those people to come along to the rink now, but what are they going to actually see that's perhaps a little bit different than what it was like last season, Gary?
So this season, obviously, the rink's open for starters. So the first thing they're going to see is an open rink at the start of the season. That'll be a massive benefit for us. Our players are going to have a full pre-season. We're looking after player welfare. They're going to be getting personalised fitness programs, coaching. They'll be up and running. They'll hit that ice running, skating, whatever you want to call it. They'll hit the ice flying. When the season starts this year, we've got our pre-seasons already booked. We really want to get off to a good start. I think it was 2 points we took in the first 11 games last season. You're better at the stats than me, Andy. I know it was at Sheffield because I was there watching. And it almost grated on me as a little boy said to his mum as we all walked out, "Mum, can't believe we've just been beat by the worst team in the league.
Yeah,
And I turned around to him and says, we're only the worst team in the league for now because we're at the bottom, but we're gonna rise up. We'll not be the worst team in the league at the end of the season. And the start the guys had last year was really challenging for them. But this year we're going to make sure that they come out flying. We start scoring some points. We want to be really, really difficult to beat at home. The away team are at the disadvantage. They do not have the amazing fans that we have at Solway. All the Solway fans are going to be cheering the team on loud and proud. And they've obviously got a fair bus journey up here to tire their legs out a little bit on the way up. The same as our guys have in the opposite direction, but we need to make the Ice Bowl at Dumfries a place where other teams come and think we need to be on our game here because this team is well drilled, well coached, they're fit, and all those players, they want to be there. They're all bought into what is now the ethos of the new club, going back to the ethos that we had before when we were in the much lower leagues. All about the
absolutely.
family,
Absolutely.
about one unit.
But we're going to have the cafe and the bar open, I believe, from the start of the season. I think that's the target, is it?
That is the plan. It's not an aspirational plan. It's a plan that we can definitely achieve. I don't want to put too much pressure on ourselves. We have to go through the council's process and due diligence. But I spoke with the council just yesterday about that, and they're going to go out to tender next week or the week after, which gives us plenty of time to get up and running for the start of this season. Obviously, it's a long road up here at Dumfries. There is lots of other eating establishments, but we want to make Dumfries Ice Balls Cafe still to be named. Dumfries Ice Balls Cafe, the place that you want to come and eat. We want to make sure that you're getting good quality food at good prices and nice and quick, obviously, as well, Andy. You don't want to be missing any of the hockey when you're there. You want to be up, be able to grab your food and get back down and watch the hockey.
Let me just clarify that as well, though, Gary. There's a tender process, but if
There is.
successful, the
Yeah,
bar and the cafe, the income generated from that will go towards Solway Ice Hockey Club.
that's absolutely right. Absolutely right. The four investors, we all have our own businesses. That's our bread and butter that pay our bills. Every penny generated from sponsorship, merchandise,
The
the
Official
bar,
Supporters Club as
the
well. Yeah,
cafe, the official supporters club, home bacon or whatever from our volunteers. Every single penny that we generate will go back into the club. You look at the budgets of some of the teams we compete against. So we really every single penny will be used to be the benefit of ice hockey in Dumfries and especially our big team. But we'll
yeah,
help the other teams as well. We've got the ladies, we've got the juniors, and we've got the SNL team as well.
yeah.
All playing out at Dumfries Ice Balls. So.
It's being as efficient as we can with all that income that comes in, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. We've said it. We want to be under budget on our outgoings and over budget on our income. That's what we're aiming for this year. We've done our budgets. We've been as accurate as we can possibly be with the data that's available, and we'll see where we are at the end of the season. Hopefully, we're in the playoffs, and hopefully, we're in a good position financially as well.
And one of the other things that was upstairs that fans really, really liked, because if they did get caught in a queue for a bar or a burger or something like that, was TVs broadcasting the live hockey as well, because sometimes you get caught there. But also after the game, we could put on replays and such like that. And I believe you're trying to look at getting them back in play as well, Gary.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's talks going on right now, fully supported by the senior management at Dumfries Ice Bowl of getting all that organised. It's all happening this summer. We're actually looking as well at putting another TV down at the inside the rink, which is next to where the sort of like for the regulars next to the tuck shop and the rink bar area is. So if you run out of alcohol, sweeties, juice, tea, or coffee whilst the game's on, you can nip down there. You still be able to watch it on the big screen if there's a little queue. So
Absolutely.
everything positive, and we're looking at everything long term as well, Andy. We wouldn't be doing all this if we were coming in for boom and bust. We're looking at long term. Obviously short term, we're looking at 3 years, but we really have our sights on 5 and 10 years after that. As one of the other owners told me, he's still a lot younger than the rest of us, so he wants to be doing this in 20 years' time.
He mentioned it in the interview I had with him. He mentioned that about 5 times. I
He
don't know who we're talking
he
about.
mentions it a lot. He mentions it a lot. I think it's because they see me as the good-looking one, and so he's going to
Maybe,
be the young one. Everybody in a band needs an identity.
maybe
Just
it's just we're talking Jamie Crosby here for folk that aren't aware.
absolutely,
Maybe
absolutely.
maybe climbing roofs and doing all that. Maybe that's just hard on the body. Maybe he just looks older than he really is. He's just a baby, isn't
That's
he?
it.
Really.
He is. He's young. He's young relatively to the rest of us, but he's an absolute massive asset, and his energy's just been absolutely amazing. And he loves hockey. It's his passion. He plays recce hockey. I go and watch him playing recce. So,
Absolutely.
and we
Well,
still also they make me shout at the refs even at recce hockey. If I'm not saying anything, they're going, "Come on, Gary, the ref must have seen that." So it's kind of like my signature cheer. Come on, ref, you must have seen it.
you should get a T-shirt with that made on.
I really should. And well, actually, Andy, I've got a t-shirt with that on, but
No,
I do. I absolutely do. It's right here.
folk will think we
It's
set this up, Gary.
not at all, not at all. And we're actually, I don't know if you can see that.
Magic.
To be honest, it also gave us the idea for a possible sponsor, and I'm in talks with this sponsor right now. The franchise holder for Dumfries Specsavers, we're in talks with them right like today about a
Right.
sponsorship deal. Now, I would love that to be the sponsor of the home penalty box. I just think it's ironic. But that might be a boat too far. It might just be a
It would be
normal
good.
sponsor. Might
That'll
just be
get
normal. We'll see.
picked up. That'll get picked up by Kennedy, Laurie, and Maddie, who are doing the social medias, aren't they?
Oh,
There's a
absolutely.
dream team, isn't there?
That is an absolute dream team. And Andy, when you put a team together, right, there's always going to be settling in time. But those girls have all just gelled together. And it was like they almost sorted themselves into their preferred area of TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and websites. And that because I thought, oh, they're all going to want Facebook. That's showing my age probably. But they didn't. They all want their own little areas, and they all work together as a team. And I'm a massive believer in it. Despite when I was in sport, it was an individual sport, but in life, the team is always greater than the individual, 100%.
And that's what you've got within every volunteer that has a vital role to play in the entire club. There are some really dedicated people that work there, and they know what they're doing, Gary, and they're just going to crack on and do it, aren't they?
They absolutely are. They're all energized and ready to go for the season. The volunteer network within the club is unbelievable. I honestly can't talk about them in a high enough regard. They are amazing. And I apologize before asking them the question, but I've asked every single one of them, if you're not there, who can do what you can do, or who's going to keep the show on the road? And every single one of them is absolutely amazing. They've all come up with another person, a name, an example of when they were maybe not feeling so well and somebody else did their role. The whole club has a network that's there at the top level. They're amazing. And they've all got a backup network as well. They haven't got these egos like I'm the only person that can ever do this. They're training up other people. We're all human. We all have bad days where we don't feel well. you know, whatever, something can happen. But everybody's got somebody that can step into their shoes, maybe not fully fill the shoes, but do a good enough job to keep the show on the road.
And that's the other thing as well, that if you're watching this and you think, I'd love to get involved somehow, somewhere in the Solway Ice Hockey Club volunteer network, put your name forward, because you're not left on your own either, because you've got such
No,
nice people. They'll show you the ropes and you'll get to almost pick a volunteer area that you want to get involved in.
absolutely. And there's loads of volunteer areas. There's the guy or the girl that sits behind the goal and presses the button on the red light. You've got people in the penalty box. You've got people in the background working IT. You've got people selling merchandise. I'm going to miss people out here. You've got people
There's
doing
loads.
social media. You've got people doing streams. You've got and I apologize for anybody that I've missed out because the volunteer network is immense. And I, even as a fan, even as somebody that's at that ice ball 3, 4 times a week in various forms, whether it's watching ice hockey or taking my daughter to snow tots, I was overwhelmed by the amount of amazing volunteers that we have in Dumfries, supporting all levels from junior through to everywhere in between, junior, recce, senior, ladies, all the various disciplines of ice hockey. It's in Dumfries.
Well, I was actually going to ask you something along those lines. You've been a fan, you're moving into ownership. There'll be a lot of stuff you probably aren't aware of yet, and you'll learn as you go through the year. But is there anything that's surprised you about the work that goes on that's completely unseen by the fans?
So it didn't surprise me, Andy. I knew a lot of work goes on. I've been involved in other sports, and I, one of the things I do is I'm part of a team that organised the Dumfries and Galloway Horse Show, and I know that the work literally goes on for months in advance of that, and that's one day. We put a horse show on for one day, and there's loads and loads involved. That people that turn up in the morning with their horse, show their horse, ride their horse, jump their horse, and then go home again, don't even realise. And I knew that it would be like that, or but bigger for the ice hockey. It's a 30-week season, it's a team, there's so much goes on there. So it's been nice finding out, but I wasn't totally surprised because I knew without knowing the details that there'd be so much work goes on behind the scenes, and it's interesting as well. I've really, really been enjoying it. Obviously the more you know, the more you become a better fan, right?
What do you think your biggest emotion? You've already said you're an emotional guy. What do you think the biggest emotion's going to be when you see Solway take to the ice for the first time in pre-season? That is it Edinburgh that we play first time, or is it Blackburn?
Blackburn's
Blackburn
the
first.
first
So
pre-season
how do you
game.
think you're going to feel?
Yeah, so firstly, a big thank you to Blackburn as well. They helped us out last season when the ice ball was closed. So we're obviously building relationships and having a pre-season with them again this year is fantastic. I think it's going to be, it's going to be a massive relief. There was a lot of times and a lot of nights, a lot of late nights, early mornings when we didn't know if that team would get out there. And now that we're 100% sure that the team will make the ice on that night is an amazing feeling. And I'll be emotional, 100% emotional. Usually that's when I'm quiet, rather than loud. But I'll be emotional. I'll be super super proud of everybody that's been involved. And there's too many to name. Everybody that's been involved in getting that team on the ice for the
Well,
first pre-season game against Blackburn.
Well, you're not the only Solway fan that's emotional. It's been an emotional summer for everyone, and for us to finally see a team on the ice, it will be a relief, but it will be very emotional. And on behalf of all the Solway fans that I know, I really want to say a very sincere thanks to Santiago, to Charlie, to Jamie, and to you for stepping up to the plate because you didn't have to. It's a personal investment in cash, time, resources. And without you guys, we wouldn't have a team that's going to be icing in just over 8 weeks, believe it or not, as we record this, Gary. So thank you on behalf of us because it's really appreciated. We're running out of time on the interview. I'm not going to let you answer that question. It wasn't really a question anyway. We're running out of time on the
No,
interview. But you've seen my pattern before. You know the last word's going to go to
absolutely.
you, and it's going to be a monologue to the fans from Gary McCracken.
Oh, and with no pre-warning either, Andy. So yeah, fans, listen, it's there, it's right on your doorstep. Come along, support your team, pick your favourite players, cheer them on, enjoy the night. Whether that's the food, the drinks, the game, the atmosphere, whatever you want. Follow us on social media. Um, Solway IHC on Facebook, and you'll find the links there for the rest. I don't know them to punt them out just now. And also join our official supporters club They are a massive support network. The official supporters club have got they're going to arrange special nights. I had a phone call today talking about them putting buses on to a pre-season game. I think it's going to be Edinburgh. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Edinburgh, but I'm not. I don't want to promise you that. But they're putting buses on. They're working hard behind the scenes to make sure that the fans have an even better experience, and it's not just hockey; it's social as well. You'll make friends that'll become like your hockey family, and that's really what it's all about.
Well, thank you for that, Gary, and thank you so much to everyone who's taken the time to watch this little podcast. This is Andy Glenn saying cheerio, and Gary McCracken, last word to you.
See you at the ice, Paul.